There have been a couple of times while I was going through airport security, waiting on my ID and boarding pass to get checked, that they would have us walk 2 at a time past these dogs. And then the dog would walk across the area that they just passed, and then 2 more people would walk by, and then the dog would walk across the area that they were just in. The dog could tell if you had anything illegal with you just by sniffing the air of an area that you just walked past. And because of the dog, we didn't have to take anything out of our bags or take our shoes off. We simply just put our bags on the belt, and then they went through the scanner. And it was just like super fast and super easy. Tell me in the comments if you've ever seen security dogs working. Most of the time when you go through airport security, they don't have security dogs there. And you're required to take certain things out of your bags and put them in plastic bins, and take certain things off of your person and put them in the bins and send them through the scanner. Some people think that this is the hardest part of going through security because it is the step that requires you to do several things in a very short period of time, and it can be very stressful. Also, each airport does this a little bit differently, and sometimes they do it one way one time, and a few weeks later the exact same airport will do it a slightly different way. It does make it a little bit confusing. I have another video social story that gives an overview of each step of going through security. To reduce stress for yourself, or perhaps somebody with autism or high social anxiety, I'm going to go through this step of the process of going through security in great detail, because when you know what to expect, it makes a scary experience more doable. This information is particular to security at an airport in the United States. Hi friend, I'm Amy on A Lolly Life. You're strong, and you're confident, and you're determined, and you're also pretty smart, because you're spending the time now to learn what to expect when you go through airport security. Do not bring items that you are not allowed. If you have any doubt about whether something you want to bring is prohibited, then look it up on the TSA website. We will divide this into 2 parts: what you have to remove from your bags, and what you have to remove off your person. Part 1, what you have to remove from your bags. There are 3 categories of things that you have to remove from your bags, and the first one is electronics. This includes laptops, tablets, cell phones, batteries, or power banks. There are other things that I didn't list that a little bit of common sense would say this is probably included. And if you have a very specific question, you can go to the TSA website and look it up. I will mention one gray area when it comes to electronics, and that is charging cables. You don't actually have to remove those from your bag. However, if you have more than just a couple small cords and you do not remove them from your bag is more likely to be kicked out for secondary inspection. Secondary inspection is when your bag is kicked out of the line for a person to look through. After you get through security, if one of your bags isn't there and doesn't come down the belt soon after, look behind the line for your bag. You'll have to wait for the security on the other side of the belt. When they grab your bag, they will have you watch while they dig through to find the thing or things that they need to take a closer look at. If you didn't bring anything illegal, then it usually doesn't take long. But someone will be rifling through your bag, and it can leave your bag pretty messy. Sometimes that makes it a little bit difficult to close your bag back up. There are things that you can do to help eliminate the need for secondary inspection. However, you can do everything right, and your bag still is going to be kicked out from time to time for secondary inspection. It just happens. But there are things you can do to make it happen less often. Back to the subject of charging cables. You are not required to remove your charging cables from your bag. However, a jumble of wires and cables is a common reason for secondary inspection. The thing to keep in mind here is that if you spend a lot of time digging through your bag trying to find all your different charging cables, and then you dump a rat's nest of charging cables in the plastic bin, you will irritate security. But if you spend a little extra time when packing your bags at home and have all your charging cables in a gallon zipper baggie or a packing cube that you can quickly pull out of your bag and put in one of the plastic bins, it will decrease the likelihood of your bag needing secondary inspection. Things that you have to pull out of your bags. Number 2, your quart-sized zipper bag of liquids. This is your zipper bag of travel-sized liquids. No more than 3.4 ounces per bottle or tube that is inside the quart zipper bag. You pull that out and you put it in the plastic bin when you go through security. If you want more information about liquids that you can bring and how much, you can go to the TSA website for specifics. The third thing that you should take out of your bags. This is another gray area. If you bring an apple or some carrots to eat, you do not technically have to pull them out of your bag. However, foods with high water content, like fruits, yogurts, and cheeses, they can cause your bag to get kicked out for secondary inspection because they don't scan well. I used to have my bag kicked out for secondary inspection all the time, until one of the officials mentioned that if I took all my fresh fruits and vegetables and I put them in a gallon zipper baggie and I pulled that out and put it in a plastic bin, that my bag was a whole lot less likely to get kicked out for secondary inspection. And imagine that. Since I've started doing that, I haven't had it kicked out for secondary inspection even once for that reason. To summarize, you must remove from your bags your electronics, charging cables, quart-sized zipper bag of liquids, and any high water content snacks. Since you know you have to pull these things out, plan ahead and have them easy to access and have them grouped together so that you can easily pull out a zipper bag or some other thing and put them in the bin and then easily put them back in. Things that you need to remove from off of your person: shoes, watch, belt, jacket, keys. You have to empty your pockets, and perhaps even your jewelry. You do not have to take off your wedding ring, but any more metal than that will probably cause the sensors to go off, and so you'll need to remove a lot of your jewelry. This can feel like a lot of things to remember, especially when you're supposed to be hurrying, but there are things that you can do to make this significantly easier. I don't wear a belt when I go to the airport because I know I'm going to have to take it off, but if you do wear a belt, perhaps take it off before you go through security, and then put it back on afterwards. Same thing with the jacket. If you have a jacket on, take it off just before you go through security and put it in your bag, because if it's tucked in your bag, you don't have to remove it. While there is a long list of things that you need to remove from your person, they are almost all of them things that you can remove long before you get to security. The only thing that would be the exception would be like your shoes, because it would be just weird if you walked around the airport without shoes, other than like in the security spot. Because everybody walks around without shoes in the security area. Also, wear socks so that you don't have to walk around the security area, the dirty floor area, in bare feet. You will walk over to the conveyor belt and pull out one of the plastic bins. Most people need 2 or 3 plastic bins to get all of their stuff in. Simply put stuff in one bin until it gets full, and then you push that bin onto the belt so that it can go through the scanner, and you get a new bin. Don't stack things on top of each other in the bins. The things that you need to put in the plastic bins are charging cables, your electronics, your quart-sized zipper bag of liquids, your bag of snacks with high water content, your shoes, watch or jewelry, belt, jacket, or things from your pockets like your keys or change or wallet. Your carry-on does not need to go in a bin. You simply put it on the belt and it goes through the scanner. Your personal item bag can either go in a bin or not go in a bin, depending on what kind of bag it is. Can it entirely be zipped closed? Because if it can't, it should go in a bin. Does it have long straps that might get caught in the rollers? Because if it does, you should put it in the bin. However, if it can be entirely zipped closed and it doesn't have long straps or things like that that can get caught in the rollers, then you can just set it on the belt and it'll go through the scanner. It's okay if some of your bins get mixed in with other people's bins as they go through the scanner. It's also okay if some of your bins make it all the way to the other side long before you do. There is a person on the other side of the conveyor belt when you're pulling out the plastic bins that is there, and he'll be telling people instructions and can answer any questions. If they are short questions requiring short answers, otherwise you will make them annoyed. I know, because I have done that. If they say that you don't have to take your shoes off, then follow their instructions. If they say you don't have to take your electronics out, then follow their instructions. Again, each airport is a little bit different. These are the general things that you have to take out, but every time it seems to be just a little bit different. And if they're shouting out an instruction like don't take your shoes off, well, don't take your shoes off. That's easy. You get to skip that step. Thanks for joining me on this episode of A Lolly Life. If you're interested in more social stories, then I have a link right there that you can click on, or like a little square thing, rectangular thing that you can click on. And I'll see you next time on A Lolly Life.